Hello, hello. Thank you for stopping by the channel. I just got back from a 2-week vacation and I had the opportunity to hit a bunch of stores on my travels. I've collected a pretty hefty pile between these stores. I got a few eBay hits and a couple of longer term orders finally came in. So I thought I'd share. Let's get started. First, for the Switch, I got a copy of Blade Runner Enhanced Edition. Now this is a game that I have on PC from way back. I think it was 4 discs. I love this game. It was fantastic. It was an adventure click game set in the Blade Runner universe, and it actually altered itself as you played it. So if you play it multiple times, it was different. I'm really curious to see how this one holds up with the Switch. I mean, I know it's a fantastic game, and I did use it with a mouse on the PC, so how it translates to a Switch, very interested there. We'll see. We'll give it a go pretty soon, I think. For the Evercade, I got the Team 17 collection. These are a bunch of games that are from the Amiga, and I'm a fan of the Amiga. I got the Amiga Mini console when it came out. I don't have a complete Evercade collection, and I'm not going for a complete Evercade collection, mostly because some of those games are terrible. But I do know that the games that I've been playing on the Amiga were a lot of fun, so I figured I'd pick this one up and see what they're like handheld. Like I said, I do enjoy the Amiga, and of course, the Evercade's fun too, so I think it'll be interesting. For the Xbox 360, I found a copy of the Serious Sam collection. It was actually unopened. It's open now because I'm going to be playing it, but I'm always a fan of shooters, and this one was reasonably popular. I mean, I don't think it was as popular as sort of the heavy hitters of that time, like Doom or what have you, but Serious Sam definitely had its own place, so happy to give this one a go. I found an Xbox One controller. This is the Titanfall Special Edition controller, and I kind of paid full price for it, I think, for a regular new controller. But it was only available as part of a kit, I believe, and the prices online are a huge range. Anyway, this one looked like it was in great condition, and for some reason I have a bunch of Xbox One controllers. I really love the controller, so I picked this one up. Pretty happy to get it. I got a bunch of Famicom games. I got 1 or 2 at stores, and then actually I got a run of these from a seller on eBay for only a couple of bucks a cartridge, so I was really happy to find these because I have a retro USB AVS, and it plays Famicom cartridges. If you're trying to collect for Nintendo these days, the truth is some games are just really hard to find, or they're really expensive. If you can get an equivalent on the Famicom that is just completely playable without language barriers, I think that's the way to go, because the prices are so much cheaper, if you can find them, of course. Well, I've had luck with them anyway. I got a copy of Beltron, which I've never seen before, but it's a shooter. I did a little bit of research online after I bought it. It wasn't expensive, and it's just a flying shooter, it seems. I also got a copy of Twin B. This is a shooter again. It's a cute-em-up shooter, and I think it's kind of expensive for the NES. Not positive, but wasn't expensive here, and it's got a cool-looking cartridge. I got myself a copy of Karateka. Karateka was kind of a landmark game. It cascaded into a bunch of different games that were created during the 80s and 90s. I won't go into that detail today, but happy to get this one. I've actually never played it. I've seen it, and I've played all the other games that sort of took, advice from this game. So very interested to see where this one's going to take me, especially considering it's for the Famicom. We'll see what the limitations are. Got myself a copy of Fist of the North Star. It's got a different name in Japan, and I'm not going to try to butcher it. But I always wanted a copy of this game. I played it once or twice for the original NES, but I never had a copy. Then when I went looking for copies, they were super expensive. Finding it for just a couple of bucks in the Famicom version was the way to go. And this actually cascaded into me looking a little deeper. As it turns out, there were sequels to this game, which I know nothing about, except that I bought them. So I got a copy of Fist of the North Star 2. I got 3 and 4. Great looking cartridges. Great looking labels. I know nothing about them except you're a guy walking around beating up and murdering people, which is pretty awesome. You've got basically kung fu superpowers in the future. It's an apocalypse setting. I don't know. It's pretty great actually, based on the manga of the same name. There was a movie about it. It's pretty interesting if you're into that sort of era of cartoons. Got myself a copy of Gradius. I couldn't pass this one up. It was cheap, and the label wraps around the top a little bit, and it's in top quality. Love it. What a great game. I also found a game called Terra Cresta. This is another shooter. I really like the image on the label. I thought it might have been connected to Battle of the Planets or Science Ninja Team Gatchaman. I'm not sure if it really is. All I know is it's a shooter, it's got a cool looking ship, and we're going to give it a try. Moving on, we've got a bunch of NES games. This is, I think, the highlight of my vacation. I found a bunch of NES games I didn't have. I'm not going for a complete NES collection. I'm really not. But if I see something at a reasonable price, $5 to $10, I'm going to probably be interested to give it a try. I've got over 100 games so far, and I scored almost close to 20, I think, during this trip. Some are probably a little more basic than others, but, I'm always happy to find something that I've never played before and give it a try. So we'll start with Bandai Golf. I had a lot of luck with the last sports game that I played. I played Racket Attack, and I really liked it, and I was surprised. So I saw Bandai Golf for just a couple of bucks, and I figured, even if it's terrible, it'll be good for a laugh. So I picked up Bandai Golf. Got a copy of Othello. For a guy that likes chess and is terrible at it, I know Othello is a little different, but a little easier at the same time. So, scored me a copy, not cost prohibitive. In the wild, I saw my first copy of The Three Stooges. I know this has some sort of internet fame based on the angry video game nerd, of course. But I'm interested in giving this one a try. I think in its hilarity, I think that it will give me some entertainment. And it's a clean copy, so if I'm getting a game at a reasonable price without a torn label, I'm excited. So I've got a copy now. Found a copy of Renegade. I can't remember if this was one of the fighters that was terrible or was decent, but I got a copy. I found Strider. I always liked Strider when I was younger. I played it a long time ago. I haven't played it in a while, but now I got a copy, so we'll have to try this one hopefully soon. Found Zoda's Revenge. I believe this is a Zelda-like game, but I'm not sure. I remember hearing briefly about it in the past, but I never really researched it, and then I got my hands on a copy, so couldn't pass it up. I got a game called Bad News Baseball. I'm guessing it's terrible, but I haven't played it, so who knows. Another sports game, I got Super Spike V-Ball. Volleyball game. We'll see where that takes us. Found a copy of Time Lord. Know nothing about this game, but now I have it. Capcom game, Codename Viper. I know Capcom had a lot of games for the system, and some of them were pretty amazing. We'll see how this one pans out. Got a cartridge called Dino Wars. Dino is spelled with a Y and a Z. That is so, I guess, 80s, maybe 90s. All I know is it's a groanable title, and it's probably a groanable game, but we'll see. Got a copy of Gyrus, something I thought I had in the collection, but I didn't. And now I do. Then I found Street Fighter 2010. I know the angry video game nerd did this years back, but the truth is I played this when I was a kid. I played it with my brothers. We played it a lot. Very interested to give it a try again. We got pretty far, I think, but had a lot of great mechanics, so very interested to play this again. Finally got a copy of Ninja Gaiden. I thought it was going to be more expensive than it was, but I scored it. And I also scored Ninja Gaiden 2 with the manual, which, that's kind of nice. Never played it, but we'll give it a go. I think the game I'm probably most pleased with finding in the wild over my travels on vacation was Castlevania 3. I never played this when I was younger. I know it's a top-tier game, and to find an actual copy and not have to emulate it is great. So very happy about this. Well, it's a pretty big pile, and actually all I have for today. Thank you so much for stopping by to take a look, and hope to catch you on another video.